72 over by the good folks. And in the Ponca City Blackwell area, 68 degrees today. Winds southerly at about 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour. Barometric pressure 30.00 and is
Yo, what up players? My name is Chester and today we are back on the Minecraft. As you saw, I built myself a little house, and so we've got a couple floors. I've got my main floor here with my waystone so I can teleport, and my bed. Then we've got this little area, not sure what exactly it's going to be for, whatever's convenient, you know. Then we've got a floor here that kind of like overlooks and like I just like a little bit more open space if I have anything that I want to like be able to see the outside for. And then lastly, I have like some exposure just in case I want to put some solar panels up here. And then I just have a teleporter to get to the top just in case I need to do anything, but that's nothing. And then we also have a basement area. And so for the first area of the basement here, I'm just hoping to have like my basic machines and like everything that I'm going to be using most frequently. And then I'm planning on expanding out and having different rooms on either side for the various mods that I want to separate that maybe I'm not using quite as frequently, but I still want to have included in my house. And I traveled pretty far. As you can see, I'm up near 8,000. It's like a plains biome. Here we go. So I found a lot of bees around here, which is great. There's like two villages here. I think there was like another village up here. Just excellent biome. There's even like a little meteor over here that I can go explore, but I'm really happy with the house. I didn't really know exactly what I was gonna do for it, but I just kind of like made some random shit and it turned out to be okay. In the meantime, what I want to do before I completely move all my stuff in is get cracking on a good source of power that is going to last me, and then also the AE2 system. If you're not familiar with Applied Energistics 2, it's essentially just gonna allow me to store all my items and have one single access point for all of my items, and I can search. It's gonna be really convenient, and with all the items that I've accumulated, it's just gonna make things a lot easier. And also, I want to show you guys all of what I've done at the old house, because I haven't really recorded in a while because I've been doing a lot of experimentation and a lot of just exploring and trying stuff out, because I wanted to get all my rough stuff down in this base so that way when I move, I have a good idea of what I want to do and how I want to do it. So I've done a lot since I've last been with you guys. So just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown, I've collected quite a few resources, and the way that I was able to do this is actually through this mob grinder that I built. So we're using mob grinding utilities, and it's honestly a little bit overtuned, if I'm being completely honest. What we have set up here is this dreadful dirt, which force spawns mobs when it's in the dark, or I think it does it in the light, but mostly in the dark it amplifies it. These mob fans push the mobs, and we have 3 layers of that, so one here, and then one down there. The mob fans push everybody down onto these conveyor belts, and then the conveyor belts push them onto this square here, which I have more conveyor belts, which then push them onto a mob masher. And what's cool about the mob masher is I threw a bunch of these looting upgrades in it, and so I'm actually getting emerald drops, iron drops, gold, everything that you see here. And as you can see, this thing works pretty well, and this is a prototype. I have really not put a whole lot of effort or time into building this, and it's literally 3 layers, and this, you know, I think I could probably get this whole chest full within probably like 2 or 3 hours. So what I want to do at the new base eventually is automate this whole system. So right now what I have is the mob masher, which is killing the mobs, and then it has this unique item called the absorption hopper, which is a 7x7 hopper that's picking up all the items and the XP. And then I'm having items go above it and to the left of it, which seems to be the priority. I don't know why or how it's configured, but it seems to want to dump items into these 2 chests first. So what I've done is I've put the valuable items in these chests, and then all the rest of the items are going into these trash cans that I have set up right here. And then out of the bottom, we have an XP tank into a hopper, into an XP tank, into a hopper, liquid hopper. And then I've got these little taps so I can grab XP whenever I'd like. And they store a ton of XP. This is 1,028 buckets, I believe. And I have 2.5 of them right now, it looks like. And so on top of that, what I progressed is my enchantment station. So I have these hell shelves, which actually amplify your enchants quite significantly, which is super cool. You can get all the way up to level 45, and then you start to get some really cool enchants. For instance, I can get up to Unbreaking 4, and I've got this awesome enchantment library, which was actually a pain to craft. It actually took a lot, but it's definitely worth it. What I can do with this is I can take a book and I can enchant that book, so mana boost and depth strider, and then what I can do is just dump it straight in here, and then now I can pull that out whenever I'd like, and it stacks. So for instance, sharpness, I have 24 points stored, so if I wanted to, I could pull out like a bunch of sharpness 5 books, which is super cool. And with the efficiency of the mob grinder and how much XP I'm getting, it's really convenient to just be able to enchant books and dump them in here. And then when I want to enchant a tool, I can just pull the books out that I want to make like a god tool. So really cool, really convenient. And then another thing I had set up, which I don't mind showing you guys, is before I actually had this whole automated system for all the resources, what I was doing was using the trades. So you can trade 32 rotten flesh for an emerald, and then my other villagers died, but you could trade string and feathers as well, which I get from this. So I was just able to get a lot of emeralds, and then I was using the cleric emerald to lapis trade, so that I could have infinite lapis for enchanting items. So it's a pretty cool system setup. And then I also had a couple of these armors here because, you know, you can trade 19 emeralds for diamonds. So if you're getting excess emeralds from whatever type of mob grinder, you can trade for diamonds. And then I was coming over to my salvager, and I was able to salvage the diamond helmets, and so it's 19 emeralds for 5 diamonds, which early game isn't that bad. But all in all, I'm super happy with the progress that I've made so far. I have a ton of stuff. Like, I have an absolute fuck ton of stuff, so that's why I want to focus on the power, and then I want to make the AE2 system so that way I can store all of this stuff and I don't have to worry about it. I can just dump stuff and be rocking and rolling. And since I have like a stupid amount of resources, I'm sure that I can do just about anything that I want to do. The cool thing about this mob grinder is that you get all the basic resources that you need. This is a crazy amount of loot, and if I automate this, I can auto smelt, auto craft the blocks of gold, diamond, and emerald, whatever it's going to be, and I can just get infinite resources for as long as I want to, which is really, really cool. And this is a basic setup, so I'm definitely going to be able to like expand upon this, optimize it, auto craft everything up, auto smelt, auto ore double. So I'm pretty excited with what we're going to be able to do in the near future. But I just wanted to show you guys, give you a little rundown of what we're working with and what I'm hoping to take over to the new base. Because right now I'm just living out of a hole, which has served me good up until now, but I'm ready to expand. Alright, so after a bit of testing in a single player world on creative, I think I've figured out the type of power I want to do, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the wind turbines from the mechanism mod. And the cool thing about the wind turbines is the higher the y-axis that you build up to, the more efficient or the more power production that these things will do. So I did some testing. If I just put it all the way up the sky limit and then used a tesseract, which you just saw me looking at, to transfer the power down to here. And for our needs starting out, I think that's going to be just fine, especially considering how cheap these wind turbines are. Really all you're using is like some osmium, gold, and redstone, and all of those things I have a ton of. So we're gonna build a couple of those, build a couple of tesseracts, and then we'll get cranking on the applied energistics system. All right, so I got all the crafting done, at least for our power setup. I've got 8 wind generators, 2 tesseracts, an ultimate energy cube, and some ultimate universal cables. And the ultimate is not needed, but just because I have an excess of resources, I went ahead and crafted the ultimate stuff, just in case down the line we do need that sort of power distribution and storage. First thing we gotta do is build up to sky limit. We'll grab a tesseract. Tesseracts are pretty cool. They just transfer power wherever you want it to go. So in the energy tab, we can click create here. We will do wind power. We'll create that, and then we can set this to send only, and then we will activate it. And so now it's grabbing power from here. I'm gonna jump down, hopefully not die. Oh, it does work. Okay, cool. So I just want to move that over up to over 1. Like this. Nice. That's actually crazy. Elevators OP, dude. Can't even see it. And just like that, we can go up and down to get to our power source. This is super cool. I'm actually so happy. I didn't think that was going to work. But awesome. So now what we can do is I think I want to have all of my power and sort of things maybe up here in the attic. I really don't know how to do the applied energistics yet, so that's going to be a process. I'm going to go ahead and start looking up some of the crafting recipes, and because I know I'm going to need a few machines to actually craft the majority of the stuff I'm going to need. So I'm going to craft the machines and place them all here, and then we'll get started on actually building this thing. So having never done applied energistics, this was a little bit confusing at first, but it's really not so bad. So it seems that starting out, you need all of these basic presses. So I have the inscriber silicone, engineering, calculation, and print and logic. And so you find these inside the meteors. For instance, there's one right here. If you dig down in the center, there's a chest, and there's also a couple of blocks of the flux crystals, which you also need, so that's really nice. I'm just gonna craft what I know I need, and then I'm gonna do some Googling and figure out the rest of what I need, and I'll tune you guys back in if I run into anything that I want to tell you, or when I'm done, and then I'll just have all the machines, and then we'll just place them together, and it'll be really easy, and you won't have to watch me craft for an hour. So I'll be back. All right, everybody, welcome back. It has been a few hours. The crafting was a lot more than I anticipated. There were a lot of repetitive recipes, and I also slightly went in the wrong direction. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but we did get everything put together. So right now we're in my basement. We'll go up a level and another. So this is my ME setup. Just in case you don't know, the way this works is we have this ME controller, which is hooked up to power. Then we have this hooked up with cables to an ME drive on either side. These have storage modules inside of them. You only need one drive and however many modules you need to store your items. And then you need some sort of access terminal. I have a crafting terminal here. And then I also have this wireless crafting terminal, which is powered by these wireless access points. And what I've done is I've put one on each floor. So I have another crafting one here and then one more here. So I can access all of my items at anywhere in the base. Even if I'm over here, I can use my wireless one, which is great. It was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It took me fucking forever, but we're done. I went ahead and upgraded our machines. So back at the old base, I was using the enrichment factory, or the enrichment chamber, the infusion chamber, and whatnot. I made them all up into elite factories, which is about the extent of what I'll need them for. And then I also took my furnaces and I set them up with some omnidirectional hoppers to make it like a sort of auto smelting setup. All this will be automated eventually. And then I went ahead and moved my other stuff over here. I just had like a quick little setup for the inscriber so that I could do most of this automatically. If you're unfamiliar with the ME system, long story short, you need a ton of quartz crystals. But there's a pretty neat way of getting quartz crystals. So I just want to show you guys real quick. If you have quartz crystals, you can take them and throw them into the crusher like so. And then you can get the dust. And when you combine the dust with sand, you get these seeds. And so I can grab all this dust. As you saw, I went ahead and put 32 dust with 32 sand, and I get 64 seeds, and then I can throw those in the enrichment chamber, and then that makes a Certus quartz crystal each. And you can not only do this for the regular crystals, so you can use it for these flux crystals as well. It works exactly the same way. You just take like this, and then you can combine with sand to get the seeds, and you throw it in the enrichment chamber. It doesn't need to be the factory. You can just do it straight up, which is great because you need so much of it that running around trying to mine it, it just isn't really realistic. So this was the easiest way that I found just through searching the NEI setup. Outside of that, I haven't really done a whole lot, except I did expand my windmill farm just a little bit. I added another row on this side, and then I added a couple more here because I was running out of power, but now we are absolutely stacked on power. We are looking good. I'm super happy with the progress that we've made. The ME system in and of itself is a blessing just simply because I had so many items and so many different chests. I was carrying around like 2 to 3 backpacks, which are a ton of storage, and I was still running out of space. And so what the ME system enables me to do is literally dump every single item I have into one space. It stacks infinitely, and I'm able to just search it whenever I want. Like I can just grab anything diamond, whatever I need, and then I can also do that from right in my hand, and I can also craft. So whenever I'm trying to craft something complicated, like let's say I want to make a solar panel, I'm able to just like see if I have the items right here, and then I can just like grab them out of there as I please, and it just makes crafting a lot easier. And there is auto crafting. You can set everything up to be completely automated. So when I implement my mob grinder, I could have my mob grinder auto sorting, making diamond blocks, so I'm saving space and taking the iron ore and doubling it, and then, you know, so forth and so on, like refining it. But all that is a lot of work, but it's also kind of unnecessary because I don't really need that many resources. So, and it also makes the game just like a little bit too easy. So I think that I might chill with the ME system how I have, just letting it be storage. I'm definitely going to implement a bit of automation when it comes to my mob grinder, just so that I don't have to worry about that stuff. All in all, I'm super happy. We got our source of power and we got our ME system set up, and that was our goal for this episode. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We got the base set up. I mean, I'm overall super satisfied with this episode. It took forever. I'd love to do a little bit more, but I am honestly just a little bit burnt out. I've been at this basically all day. But just to sum it up, we built ourselves a new house. We got ourselves a reusable source of infinite energy. And then we also configured our ME system and redid all of our storage. So if we actually go look at the old base, there's actually really nothing left here except for my mob grinder. So all these chests are empty. And then all that's left is, like I said, the mob grinder and then our farm down here. And other than that, we're big chilling. We're doing good. I'm just going to grab some of these pearls to throw. By the way, I had a bunch of Enderman spawners when I first set up the mob grinder, and I got way too many Ender pearls. So there we go. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up, guys. I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about anything that I worked on in this episode, feel free to comment down below. I don't mind elaborating further. And I am going to make tutorial videos for everything that I'm doing now. I just want to do it once in my regular series. And then once I sort of master it and get more comfortable with it and I feel that I can explain it better, I will do an actual tutorial with creative, of course, so I'm not having to work so hard. But the goal will then just to be to educate you guys. So look forward to that in the future for the more complicated things such as the mob grinder and the ME system and whatnot. But all in all, really satisfied, and thank you guys for watching.